Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Today we are going to be working in a journal that we started last year, which I called the Romance Journal. I've been kind of fiddling with some of the center spreads, and this one was an easier one. So what I've done here, and I'm going to try to do these quickly because I've been having trouble filming and getting the videos to upload, and I've been kind of just losing them. So this is actually here with the whole batch of signature pages right here. So I'm just going to take this one, and remember this is going to be a center, and I've made pockets out of these because these pages, I'm going to fold this again because I haven't folded it since I glued it down. Let me make sure it's where I want it to be. These pages are cut from, I think I cut them, actually, I don't know that I cut them. Let me see the length. I don't know why I can't find a regular ruler around here. This thing's too far away from me now. They are 6.5 and they've been dyed, so they were probably about 7, which means they were 14. So they were 8.5 by 14 sheets of paper as opposed to 8.5 by 11. Just gonna put that in there. So that would be what we would call a legal size, 8.5 by 14. Okay, in the US, that's what we call those. So these are normal for me. Normal digital size, 8.5 by 11, but of course then the white border cut off. So I have to use these pages in conjunction with the tea-dyed pages, which is why the majority of the paper, well, at least half of the pages, if not maybe a little bit more, in the journal are just going to be the tea-dyed, and then I'm going to use the digitals on the pages, not use them as the page, but use them on the pages to create whatever it is I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. So anyway, I did this one side to show you. I glued this down, so it's glued across the top, down the center, and across the bottom. Okay, and that creates 2 pockets. I don't know yet what I'm putting in this pocket. We'll work on that. But for today, what we're going to do is put this pocket on, which I've already cut everything and inked, I think, to try to make this video go a little longer. So we have a tag in the pocket, so you can journal on the back here. You take this tag out, you can also journal here. And then you have this tag, okay, and I just put some paper on the back. So kind of simple, pretty but simple. And that then goes in here, and then that goes in here, like so. And the knot sort of stops it there. So let's see what we can do with putting this together for the other side. So the first thing we're going to do, let me go over here, grab my bits and pieces, is I cut this. Let me just move this out so you can see this. I cut this little design, okay, this kind of curly design, okay. Obviously very hard to try to go along that with, let me actually put this away because I don't think I'm going to need it. Hopefully I won't shake the table too much. Hard to go along that with any kind of trim. So I just left it blank. And what I decided I would do was put a piece of what this card is on here to kind of carry the theme through, the pattern through. I just filled this up, so it shouldn't take too much. So I'm just going to go ahead, put some glue down here. Hopefully I'll get it all glued down. If I don't, I'll go back later and fix it. Normally I would have put it on the little strip. Okay, so we're just going to do that. It's too long. So I only inked it at this top part and then down the sides, and then I will snip it off at the bottom. I'm just gonna kind of do that. Okay, and I usually, especially when I'm cutting things ahead, I usually put little clues for me. This is the top. That meant it went on the right-hand side of the journal for me looking at it. So that's what that is. So that was just the paper printed on piece of paper. Same thing here. This is just on a 32 pound backed on some cardstock. So that is that, okay? Then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the lace and we're going to go along the edge here. Get some of this out of the way so I can work a little better. We're going to go right along the edge here of that strip that we just put down. Okay. And we're going to go ahead, make sure I've got it on the right side, which is this side. Sometimes they're hard to tell, but sometimes if you just take your time and look carefully, you can see a slight difference. Okay. Now my husband is upstairs, and again, if you've watched my videos since we moved here to Pennsylvania, you'll know that the stairs from the second floor to the first floor are right above me. So just go ahead and trim, come on, that off. We'll move this to the side. We will need a piece of that later, but I'll just put it up there for now. Okay, that's that. Now let's get this glued down a little bit. So I hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I've been having trouble trying to get, my phone has been just giving me trouble, telling me there's not enough room. And I don't understand it because I would have stuff in my phone, you know, whatever, the apps and photos or, you know, whatever. And it would work just fine. And all of a sudden it would tell me there's not enough room. So I'll go in and clean out like, you know, 1,000 photos and take out a couple of apps and it tells me there's not enough room. It's like, well, there was enough room when that stuff was in there before. Why isn't there not enough room now? So I want to try to keep an eye on my video because the last video I put up has an apology for the abrupt ending from the video before, which never got up because I couldn't get it to work. And then that one, where I apologized for the previous video, also stopped abruptly. So it's got a kind of unconventional beginning, and it's got an abrupt ending. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here. Now, let me see. I'll clean this a little bit. I'm getting new bottles because I'm getting tired of these little bottles. They tend to give me trouble. Let me see if I can find another pin besides my lace one here. Here we go. Try to clean this out a little if I can find the hole. There we go. See, it's not really clogged. So I don't know what the problem is, other than the fact that there's not a lot of glue in it because I've been having trouble trying to get the glue in because it just goes into the little funnel. And, you know, I've been using them for like almost 4 years and like three and a half years or whatever. And I haven't had a problem. But this year, for some reason, I try to put the glue into the funnel to get it into this tiny little opening. You can't pour it from the bottle straight in because the opening is too small. The bottle opening is too small. And it just sits in the funnel. It won't go down. And the funnel's clean. And the neck of the bottle is clean. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe it's just a little too cold down here in my basement and it makes it not want to go because I've only tried to fill it in the cooler weather, not in the summertime. That's when it started giving me the trouble. That's the only thing I can think of. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just time. Try a different bottle and see what happens. They're not expensive. So I'm just going to kind of line this up the same distance, I hope, from the center as the other pocket over here. And I can see, because I inked here along the, along the center, so I can see where that is. And these are my little dry wipes. Okay, so we have the pocket on, and that's all I'm going to worry about there. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need that just yet. All right, so let's put this over to the side, and we're going to take the one that's done, and we're going to start with the base. So let's take this part out, and we'll start with the base, which I have paper clipped here. Not a lot of big deal here, okay? So we'll take this paper clip off. I prefer to put them away because I find them all over my desk. Okay, so we've got a little piece here that I cut out. I don't know whose paper it is. I'm sorry. This, I think, came from... All right, let me put the pocket on while I'm thinking. This pocket is a little big, so I drew pencil lines. This was a pattern from something else. I drew pencil lines here to see where I'm going to actually end up cutting it off. So I'm going to... Should not have put this away. I'm going to put the glue right along inside that pencil line. Okay. Studio on Glore. That's where that one came from. Studio on Glore. Glore. And it's all one word. She's on Etsy. And this came from one of her photo digitals, because I'm using some of her photo digitals for this journal as well. So I'm going to take this and flip this over just so that I can get it lined up, hopefully, with one of these pencil lines. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close, because kind of had it where I thought it would look good. Just going to try to tap that down to make it even with the bottom. Let me go ahead and press that down. And like I said, I have this all pre-inked. I am using for this journal primarily the tea dye, and every now and then, and you'll see where I've done that, I have used walnut stain. And where I've used that is, you can see on the edge of this paper, it's just a little darker because the tea dye did not give me what I needed. So it was just, it needed a little bit more, and I felt this just pulled away from the card. So I have to be careful. Go back and press that down again. But I decided I wanted the tea dye in this journal because I wanted it a little lighter feeling, and a little less grungy, vintage. Well, not less vintagey, I guess, but a little less grungy, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so that's that. I think I'm good now with that one. So we are going to, oh, and this paper came from, it was the wrapping paper around lace that I've gotten from Temu. And I thought, you know what? I'm not throwing that out. Where the tape came off, it made it a little fuzzy, but I don't care. It really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this word down onto this piece of paper while I'm putting the lace on the pocket. I can let this set. So I'm just going to put it kind of up here in the middle so I have plenty of room to tear around it. Okay. I am continuing to work on organizing everything in this disaster area. And like I said, I see crafters putting up their craft rooms on Facebook and, you know, videos and things like that on YouTube. And they're just gorgeous. Believe me, mine is nothing even remotely close to gorgeous. There's no point in it for me because I move so frequently that it is very hard to, what I want to see. I did leave a little bit of an edge. I usually like to leave a little bit of an edge. I move so frequently, and I don't, because we live in parsonages for our church, I have no choice in the house that I move to. It's not like I can go buy my own house. I live in whatever the church house is. So, you know, if I move, I have no clue what my next house is going to look like till I get there, for the most part. So, okay, I'll go right up the side there. Oh, get this little bit right there. Okay, I think we are good now. I don't think I need this anymore, so let's get the pin back in it. So yeah, so it does not behoove me to go out and spend money on pretty cabinets, and even if they're something that I can move, you know, take with me with no real problem. We already have so much stuff. I don't need any more stuff. And you know, so even if I could, it's not practical for me. So I have to wait until we retire to actually have a real craft room area that I can set up nicely. And hopefully it won't be in the basement anymore. That would be very nice. All right, so what I'm going to do here is take these two. This is probably going to be the only inking I think I'm doing. Yeah, that's the one I want. So just go ahead and do some of the tea dye. And then I'm just going to go along the edge of the page, of the edge of this little torn spot. Put a lot of this on, try to get it down onto the paper as much as I can. Okay. Put that one over there. And now get my dark one. This is the walnut stain. And all I'm going to do is just that. I'm just dabbing along the edge. I don't want it to go down too far. I just want it edged because I don't want to cover the tea stain, and I don't want to make it really dark, but I want to make it stand out a little bit. This edge is a little fuzzier than the others, but it's all right. It is all right. Okay. So that's, sorry, I'm running into things over here. I have that out for a reason, because these holes that I did on here, and I haven't done them apparently on here. That should be interesting because, yeah, I think I was supposed to do them before I actually cut the paper. So that's interesting. Let's try it. Let's see what happens, because I may have to cut a new one of these. I don't know. Because before I did it while it was still square. This is a Martha Stewart punch that I had gotten years ago, and it works. It works good enough. And it's a corner punch, and you open these little flaps, and you can do these corner punches, and it matches another straight one, so you can actually kind of go around all the sides, and then this would be the corner. So this may end up being just a smidge smaller, but that's all right. So that's why I had kept it out, so that you could see what that was. Okay, let's put that back there. All right, so we're going to take this guy, and we're going to glue him this way to be on the other side. So we'll glue this down. So anyway, yeah, so I'm hoping that, well, it's still recording. That's a good sign so far. The other ones, the first one gave me a problem because it, hang on. Actually, this one goes this way, right? Yeah, that one goes here on this side. Let me get that glue up. So I don't want to rub it too much, because I got to rub it lightly just to get the glue and not the paper. Okay, that's not bad. All right, because this guy's going to be actually flying away. He's going to go up here and across the lace. So I forget what I was saying. Sorry. It happens to me a lot. But anyway, so yeah, I'm sadly working on too many projects at once again. I'm trying to see how would I think I'll do it this way. That's fine. Okay. So, okay, so this is the pocket tag. Okay, that's that one. All right. So we can put that one back over here. We'll put this up here, and we're going to bring this down, and we're going to work on this part. And this is the ribbon that I was using. So let's bring this one in. So simply what we're going to do here is I wanted to show you how I did the background here, which isn't a big deal. All I did, this was an embossed card. Okay. Let me get something down here. I was making envelopes for our card making class at church. So that was my first attempt. So I am now using it for something like this. So all I'm doing is I'm going straight down, putting my ink on my dauber, going straight down and lightly, not pressing hard. It will still go into the flat parts, but not as heavily as it's going into or onto the raised parts of the embossing. And I'm not trying to get into the flatter parts. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I like the contrast. So that is all I did to kind of bring out the design, excuse me, on the card, on the embossed card. So that's that. So that's how I did that one. Not a big deal. Now, the other thing I do have to do, though, is ink the edges. Got to do that. Like I said, I was trying to get as much of the inking done as I could, but some of it I wanted to show you, you know, what I had done to achieve that dark edge, to get this raised look, the raised embossing inked over. Okay. So yeah, so I started to say I'm trying to, you know, reorganize. I've been putting laces and things away, and I knew I'd have to go back and resort, which is something I'm going to have to do soon. Okay, I'll just move that over there. All right, what I'm going to do here, and I should have done this before, actually, that's why I hadn't stamped this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put why I hadn't cut it out. I'm going to put this on, and we're going to try. Hopefully we'll get it in the right place. Okay. If I mess it up, well, then I mess it up. Then I'll just have to make a new one, won't I? Not on this video, though, because I can't take the time to go cutting. And because I don't edit, maybe one of these days I will edit. Okay, I'm trying to get that globby piece off. All right. We're just going to go ahead and glue that down as evenly as I can tell. Okay, up and over. That's not too bad. All right, now I'm going to let that set for a little while because that's pretty wet glue that's up there, and I want to cut through that again. I'm looking for my wipey thing. Did I knock it on the floor? Well, sort of. I knocked it in the garbage. So I'm just going to try to pull out some of that glue from inside here. Lightly rubbing with a dry, wet, sounds weird, with a dry wet wipe, you know, with a dry baby wipe. I'm just trying to lightly rub away the glue. All right, I've got a little little piece right here. And this is because these got bent, because I had told you in a previous video that I lent them to my husband to do some electronic work, and he promptly got crazy glue on them and didn't clean it off, and he bent them, and I ended up having to buy a new pair, and now I've gotten a few other pairs too. So, but I use this if I've got to do something messy, so that it's not, I'm not wrecking a better pair, if you know what I mean. So let's just try to get some of that glue out. It's one of the things that I like about this 3-in-1 is it makes it easy to, it just sort of rolls away, the glue, if it's not too late, that is. Okay, let's see. Let's just see. Trying to see if I can tell which side I did it from. I think this side. So let's go ahead and see if I can get it in the same place. Apparently not. Okay. Apparently not. So, all right. Oh, you know what? That was the wrong one. That's why. Son of a gun. I will have to do this again. That was a different one, and I'll show you that. I might try to do this again. Yeah. That worked, more or less. But I'm not going to try to do that for now. What I am going to do is I will put this part together. Now, I had glued this across this after I had done this part, but I'll have to recut this, which is not too big of a deal, but I have to redo the back. And we'll see how my video is going, but I'd rather get this part done first. So, that being said, this was all inked already. This is all inked already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this down to the edge right here, and I'm going to center it, okay? Where I think I want it. That looks good. Now I will need this little fella again. And what I'm doing is I'm tucking the stems in, but I'm leaving some of the leaf parts out. So what I do, if I can get the glue to come out, sorry about the tapping. There, I just put a little dot of glue, okay, under that leaf. And I'm going to try a little dot of glue on the tip of this leaf, just a little bit. And what that does for me is holds this in place so that I can come to the back, and I'll lift this up and throw some glue down in there, okay? And that glues that where I want it, all right? Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to glue this whole thing down. It is not a pocket, all right? I'm going to stay away from the edges because I know that's going to go off on the sides onto the green. Oh, come on. There we go. So just stay away from those. Alrighty. And we just glue this whole thing down onto the embossed card. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pick this up. I'm going off screen here for a quick second. I want to make sure there's no glue stuck on here. And then we'll take this, I'm going to line it up across the bottom and try to get it centered where I wanted it, which is not working because of the embossing. All right, let's pull that up, and that's all right. there we go, and there we go. All right, good. Just a small adjustment. There we are. I'm going to press this down good and hard up here, and wherever I see that it's not catching, I will put the art glitter glue underneath. But I want to make sure that it gets into the grooves of the embossing. Okay, and this looks like, well, it's not too much that it needs help, but a little bit. So we'll throw a little glue down there. Okay. Make sure that's like that. All right, and then when I get this done properly, that gets glued here like so, and then I'll just go back and trim these little corners. I have to put the, oh, I see what I did. Ooh, I see what I did. This wasn't supposed to get it. Okay. Okay. So let's do this and see. It's still going. I'm going to apologize now if it gets cut off. Let me throw this thing someplace else so I won't use it again by accident. All right, move that over. Find a pencil. And I am just going to go ahead and line this card up and make myself a nice line here to follow. I will get my, sorry, I didn't mean to bang into it like that. I have to get the right height for this, and I will cut it off there. All right. If I can see it, there it is with my eyes. I'm going to just lean it towards me, guys, just so that I can see it. So I apologize. Because when that pencil line gets into the light, I can't see it. It gets kind of shiny and then it disappears on me. All right, so there we go. There's my piece. All right, let's get this and do the corners the way I was supposed to. Okay. There we go. To trim that little hangnail there. Okay, let's get rid of this stuff. I have a little spot right here. Get that off. Okay. All right, now, I think what I had been using was this stuff, which is just, what do you call it, paper. Alrighty, so I'm gonna try to, because I measured it against this one. So it's gonna go there, it's gonna go there, it's gonna go here, and it's going to go there. All right, so let's see if we can do this. I gotta find my ruler. I'm dropping things all over the floor. You think I'd do better than this by now? I didn't think so. I'm probably gonna have to come back in. It does not have to be exactly perfect. Let me try to reline that up. I don't want to hurry for, you know, the sake of trying to not have an issue with the video, but still. All right, that looks pretty even. And this one looks pretty even, I think. All right, that's good enough. I can feel the resistance of it against the edge, so I'm just gonna go there. And then this one I'm just gonna sort of trim off on its own because it's hanging funny. We're gonna put that there. and say right along that dot. All right. What I do for me, this is why I like using this one, is because it's translucent, I can see through. So I can see where the inch lines end here, like this one, this one, this one, and I try to make sure that the space is all the same. So it's not quite to the edge. I just have a tiny little like pencil point between them. So that's how, for me at least, I think I can tell if it's even, only if I hold it in the right place. So there it is. Back to where I had it. All right. So I do have the metal one, which I also like, but unless I really, really am careful about, you know, marking lines or something, you can't see through it. So I can't tell if it's straight or not. And inevitably, I don't get it right. So, yeah. So, and that one actually, when I did it, it got shipped from England. I think it was the one at the time that was very popular in England. I think this one is We Are Memory Keepers. The blue one I just had. So, now because this is just cream colored copy paper, I wanted to, you know, kind of grunge it up a little bit. I just went over it like this with what was left on my dauber, just randomly, to kind of tone down the paper a little bit. These are really my lace fabric scissors, but I'm gonna get rid of these little guys in here. Okay, try to get rid of those because I don't like them. Okay. All right, how are we doing? Oh, we're still on. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and glue this guy on and not screw it up by putting fancy holes in it. Anyway, but you did see how that one worked anyhow. So that is how I did the corners. I think when I bought that, you could still get some Martha Stewart punches through regular retailers. I'm sure mine came through, pretty sure mine came through Amazon, which you couldn't get everything, but you were still able to get some. Now they're very hard to come by, and mostly if you want them, you get them off of eBay, and they're usually quite pricey. I don't know that they were exactly real inexpensive before, but they're probably double or triple the price of what they were originally sold for when you're buying them secondhand. Like the whale tails, sometimes you can get a good deal, sometimes not so much. Okay, try to get that glue out of there. All right, so that's that one. So that is now going to just get glued right down onto that. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. We want to make sure we get plenty of glue because we want to get into these ridges pretty well with the glue. So, yeah, so I started, I'm wrapping up some more of my ribbon because a lot of my ribbon will come in those packages, particularly if it's, you know, Temu or some other places where you just get little bundles of, not ribbon, lace, sometimes ribbon too. But I have far more, I think, just trying to kind of dot around here. It's a little hard with this one, I'll admit, which is why I'm only trying to dot. So there's not a whole lot that comes through. But I'm standing it on its end to try to make sure I have it flush with each, you know, each piece is flush. So let me just tip that a little bit. I'll bring that down. I will make my adjustments as needed, but I'm not getting it where I want it to be. It is a little crooked. A little bit. And that's because of how I got it in here. But anyway, so once I've got everything all out of the little packages, and sometimes I buy something another time, I buy the same thing, and I may have it in more than one place, but I'm not aware of it. So I think I'm out of it, and I buy it again, and I'm like, oh, look, I wasn't out of it. Yeah. So anyway, so I figured, you know what, let me just finish all of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it all out and try to get this over a little more, because I ended up not getting it perfectly straight. I'm just going to trim that, and I have to go ahead and trim. It should have been higher. Didn't have it higher. I guess when I moved it down, I moved it too far. It is all right. I will just cut it away. It does not have to be exactly the same as the other side. So anyway, my plan is to go ahead and take all the laces out. First, divide them up, definitely by white or beige, no matter what shade that is. And then, you know, in that, you know, roughly divide it by size as well. So I'm going to, I keep it all in plastic shoe boxes, Sterilite shoe boxes that I got really inexpensively from Amazon. I'll try this with this. I have a similar color with this beige against the gray, and I'm trying to see if I can trim it. There it is. I couldn't quite get my scissors on it. Here we go. So I'm going to divide it up by color first, and then within the color by size, essentially, basic sizes. So if I need something narrow like the one we're using here, then I know to go in the narrow white drawer, okay, or narrow white box, as it were. Okay, I'm going to try to find a way to make pencil spots quickly. Just something little for this. I think I can manage that. I'm going to try to, this is my smaller one, you know, divide it up that way so it's easier for me to find. And then I will label the boxes and, you know, kind of go from there. So, how are we doing? Oops, still going. All right, let's move that out of the way. We'll put this one in here. So anyway, that's kind of my plan with that. I've already divided my ribbons except for my seam binding because I have a variety of colors in those. But I've divided my other ribbons, like my grosgrain, my, this is kind of stuck on that little knobby thing right there. Satin ribbons, gingham ribbons, polka dot ribbons, striped ribbons, whatever, you know, picot ribbon, whatever kind of ribbon I have. I'm kind of trying to divide it by color. It doesn't matter what size, it doesn't matter what pattern. If it's pink, it goes in the pink box. If it's blue, it goes in the blue box, and that kind of thing. I am trying to find the side that wants to pull through, and I'm not finding it. Here it is. Excuse me. So that is just sort of, you know, kind of what's going through my brain there. So I'll have that done hopefully relatively soon. I'm hoping maybe within the next week or so. So all of that will be done, and that this whole big shelf to my right should be finished. There we go. Now what I do is I take, it's really crinkly. I take a little bit of my art glitter glue because it's got this tiny tip, and I just squeeze a little bit out into the knot to kind of help keep it from coming undone, hopefully. Because sometimes they don't like to. They don't like to stay done. All right, so let's bring this back. Okay, so this is the one we just did. So this one's going to go in here. All right, and then that's going to go in this pocket right here. And then this is the other one that I had done first, and that goes back in this pocket. Okay, there we go. And that goes in there. So that is essentially one of the center spreads for the romance journal that I am working on in conjunction with a couple of other things. So that is it, guys. I'm going to leave it there for now. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get this video uploaded, and then I will do another one, which is far more complicated than this. So it's probably going to take a couple of videos to get that done, so they're not too long. So that's it for now. So in the meantime, guys, be safe, be happy, and be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.